In the swamp, chomping all day long. Saturday nights in Death Valley, that tiger strong. So we Razorbacks, crowd calling the hogs. Blue Reds battle Wildcats, bringing the dogs. Show me Miss Zone, black and gold fight. Boomer Sooner running on a Saturday night. Hook 'em horns, burnt orange in the sun. 12th man standing, Aggies get it done. Saturday lights, y'all know the deal. SC pride, we keep it real from the swamp to the grove. Let that crowd roll. It's water cooler talk. We talk that score. Saturday lights, y'all know the deal. SC pride, we keep it real from the swamp to the grove. Let that crowd roll. It's water cooler talk. We talk that score.
Welcome to this presentation of Water Cooler Talk Sports.
What it is, what it do, ladies and gentlemen, man. We are back around the Water Cooler, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here as always. My name is Nick Frazier, and welcome to Around the Cooler on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network. And with me tonight, around the Water Cooler from at its SEC season, it is our guy, your guy, everybody's guy, Auburn Tez. Tez, what's going on with you, my guy? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. We had a Artemis 2 lunch today. It's like Christmas for me.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm feeling great.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. You talk about the Artemis 2. They will be what? They'll be orbiting the moon. They'll be gone for 10 days.
10-day trip.
10-day trip, and then they'll be back. So I'm gonna be watching that on and off for
Safe
the next
travels
couple of
too.
days. Yes, safe travel, of course. Safe travel. Definitely safe travels. We definitely will be watching that over the next couple of days. See what's going on with Artemis 2, man. And hopefully we can get to an Artemis 3 and an Artemis 4 and an Artemis however many more we can get. Because
Right.
it's been a long time since we've had the opportunity to sit down and see, NASA. We've seen, other companies launch into space, but seeing the space program get back to where it was at once before, it would be great to see. Man,
Absolutely.
we appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us around the cooler, man. Before we get into it tonight, man, y'all know what we got to do, man. We got to take care of some things before we get this thing rocking and rolling, man. Make sure you subscribe to these YouTube channels, man. Subscribe to Addicts SECs. What I got Tez at Tight Sports and Alabama Football Megacast. DC Wolf over at Auburn _Addicts TV. I got Dustin over at the Uptempo Podcast. I got B Sharp over at Sharpshooter Sports Talk. Vanny Chris over at Go to Broom Podcast and the Anchor Down Live Podcast on YouTube. At the Huggy Beard himself on YouTube and on Twitter. I got at Kid Country. Make sure you go check him out over on YouTube as well. And of course, Bubba and the old man, the legend himself, Auburn Sports Talk on YouTube as well. Also go visit and subscribe to JMHO Sports Talk with our guy Coach Sean on the Block Sports with Coach Carl, and I got Dylan over at the College Loop, man. Make sure you support the people that support Water Cooler Talk Sports. Shout out to I got DJ. Follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood and EY. And of course, follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's, man. Mess with the people that mess with Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. We appreciate y'all so much for always rocking with us and always messing with those guys as well. Also, Adelines by Chef Country. Well, we do it right. 2371 Highway 14, Otaugaville, Alabama. We will be there October 17, 2026 for the Auburn versus Georgia game. We will be going live from Adelines in Otaugaville. We want you to be in the building. If you want to go before then, guess what? Come on over and go over there and go check out our guy, Edward, Chef Country in the Otaugaville, man. Everything good. Everything good, man. Just get everything on the menu. I'm telling you. You won't be disappointed, man. We appreciate that. Do us a favor, man. Go subscribe to us on our social medias at CoolerSpot23 on Twitter, at the Water Cooler Talk on Instagram and TikTok. Trying to grow those numbers on Instagram and on Twitter. And then, of course, also at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast Facebook page, man. Make sure you go and follow that page on Facebook, man. We are starting to post more over there. Starting to post more on our social medias. We're trying to be more active, trying to be more engaging. And we want y'all to be a part of it as well. Also, visit www.watercoolertalksports.com. Again, that's www.watercoolertalksports.com. Have an article on there right now. One from One Young Tez talking about the importance of Chris Murray returning, and have an article on there from yours truly about Auburn's defense and kind of highlighting Elijah Melendez. And shout out to Elijah Melendez. I had the opportunity to speak with him and got a quote from him that's in there. That's in that article, man, of what he said, of how practices and everything has went for the first couple of practices of the spring. So yeah, man, I was able to get a quote from him. So that's in there. So go check out those articles there as well, man. We appreciate y'all so much for continuing to rock with us here around the water cooler. Oh my God, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Before we get into it, let's get to the chat. See what the chat is going on. What's up, chat? How y'all feeling, chat? Y'all feeling all right, chat? That's good, man. Montage in here. What's up, Montage? How you feeling, my guy? What's up? What's up? Hope you feeling good, man. Jay Prince Jr. Montage rocking with us, man. The Huggy Beard himself, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bell Williams, the Rooster Mac is rocking with us as well. What's up, my guy? AD4L Auburn Dad for Life is rocking with us in the chat. What's up, Auburn Dad? How you feeling, man? There he is. Mike McKinney. What's up, Mike, man? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great, man. We appreciate you so much for rocking with us as always, man. Big Sarge in the chat. What's up, man? Talk that score. That's what we doing. That's what we doing, man. We appreciate y'all so much. My guy Wade is in the chat. Wade, be safe out there on that road. My guy, appreciate you, man, for always rocking with us as well. AUTJ! Yeah, so, fellas, what's up, my guy? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great. Your favorite insider, our favorite insider, everybody's favorite insider, Ant the Insider is rocking with us in the chat. What's up, Ant? How you feeling, man? Hope you're feeling good. His Royal Highness is in the chat. King Richard. What's up, King, man? What's going on? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great, man. I'll be up near your way tomorrow, hopefully. That's the plan. We appreciate it. David Kelly is rocking with us right now, man. Where y'all gonna be for where y'all gonna be for a day game? What part of the stadium? I got to meet y'all in person. Oh, are you talking about for the A-Day? For the A-Day game. My bad. I was reading it for A-Day game. I thought you were saying for a day game. My bad. For the A-Day game. Okay, cool. I don't know yet. I don't know.
I'm probably gonna be on the field calling plays, so I don't know if I'll be able to meet you.
I don't know what I'm gonna be, but I'll be in the stadium, Lord willing, and everything goes. Everything is good. I'll be at the stadium. So just see me. You'll see me. Trust me. I'll be around. I'm a big dude. Trust me, it won't be hard to find me. 5 Adam in the chat. What's up, 5 Adam, man? We appreciate you so much, man, for always rocking with us in the chat, man. As always. Zooted, what's up? It's been a while since I seen Zooted, man. What's up, Zooted? What's up, man? How you feeling, man? That he is Jermaine Mims in the chat. What's up, Jermaine? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great, man. We appreciate you. King Richard said, Tez, KK, that's caught on with slap hitting. Varsity coach put her in the cage today and was proud of her. That's what I'm talking about, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. For a righty, catch on the slap hitting, it's not an easy task, man. So shout out to her, man.
It
and
is.
I know she's gonna do well. Got speed.
C Hall in the chat. What's up, C Hall, man? We appreciate you, man, for rocking with us, man. Hey, so C Hall, you still gonna be the DJ? Because we had this conversation last year about who was gonna do what. So we got C Hall rocking with us. He said he's gonna be the DJ. We appreciate it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in our favorite guy. You know him by so many, you know him by Chef Country, you know him by Kid Country, you know him by the Charleston White of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Edward Kid Country. What's up, Edward? How you going? What's going on, man?
What's up, fellas?
Chilling,
what's going on,
man? Chilling. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great, man. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh man, just chilling, man. Chilling.
That's what it is, man. I gotta bring up one. Calvin Peterson is in the chat. What's up, Calvin, man? Appreciate you so much, man, for rocking with us, man. For always rocking with us around the water cooler, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank y'all. All right, man, let's get into it, man. Tonight's show, as you can tell, man, NIL does it equal recruiting. You know, as you can tell, we kind of trying to talk about a lot of things SEC wise, but then also kind of bring the parallel back to Auburn with an Auburn angle is what we want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, he just popped in. I got to bring him in. Your favorite insider, our favorite insider, everybody's favorite insider. It is Ant the Insider. Ant, what's going on, man?
Yes, sir. Fellas. How we
Man,
doing?
what's going on?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Doing
Man.
wonderful.
Let's get back to it. Tonight we're gonna talk about NIL, man. Is what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about NIL tonight. And as you can tell, we try to talk about a lot of things around the SEC, but then try to bring it back to Auburn and have an Auburn angle to it, as well. And as you can tell from the title, it says Oklahoma is already winning the 2027 SEC recruiting war. And here's why Auburn needs to panic right now. D-Lev is in the chat. What's up, D-Lev? Appreciate you so much, man, for rocking with us as well, man. And the reason why I asked this, the reason why this is the title, because about this time last year was when we started hearing the statements of we're gonna wait until what was it? August 1st.
August 1st.
that was the word last year. August 1st. August 1st. We waiting until August 1st, man. Is what we waiting on. We waiting until August 1st, and everything after August 1st is gonna go. You'll see what happens after August 1st. Is what it is. That's what it is.
Right.
And as you can tell, the title says Oklahoma is already winning the 2027 SEC recruiting war, and here's why Auburn needs to panic. And shout out to Sweet Stuff for 256. I got in the chat. What's up? He said NIL was put into place to save college basketball, and it's paying dividends. Okay, all right. I like it.
That's interesting. I like that.
Okay. But as I said, we were talking about August 1st. That was the buzzword, August 1st. And here's why I want to talk about this, because I was looking at something yesterday, and it struck me as like, man, this is kind of similar to last year. You know, when it comes to the recruiting thing, when it comes to recruiting and when it comes to, you know, building for the future, because there are a lot of people that still feel like you still can build high school recruiting. You still can have that. Classes may be smaller, but you still have to be able to build that high school recruiting pipeline. And you've seen Coach Golesh, you've seen his staff come out, you've seen them post pictures with players, you've seen them do all this type of things, but we haven't really heard much about guys committing yet. And there could be nuances to that. There could be things that people are waiting on to see what the team looks like this season and things. But I want to put this up, man. 2027 recruiting class rankings. This is per 247 Sports. Is what you see on the screen here. As you can see at the top, right there, you have Oklahoma, who is ranked number 1 in the SEC, number 1 overall as well in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
With 20 commits, they have 3 5-stars, 11 4-stars, 6 3-stars, and they're the national leader. And then all the way at the bottom, even though we have 16 teams in the conference, the graphic was made for this purpose, just to kind of show you the difference between where the number 1 team is in Oklahoma and where Auburn is at number 15. Only 2 commits for the 27 class. 1 4-star, 1 3-star. Trey Proctor and Donovan Moore is who's committed. And when you look at these two programs, you look at what these programs did last year when they played against each other. You look at how those teams played against each other. You look at how Auburn went into Norman, and you know we can have those debates about how the game should have went. and things of that nature. But programs that you can sit back and say that probably are not that far apart from each other, probably are not that far off from each other, from being able to be in the same category of being college football playoff contenders from the perspective of Oklahoma did make the college football playoffs last year.
True.
So when you look at this and you see Oklahoma at the top, but then you see Auburn at the bottom, what does this say to you as a consumer of college football? And you see this, and what is your initial reactions to this? Let me start with Tez on this. What's your thoughts?
Oh man, I just initially right off the bat, I look for programs with new coaches. I see Auburn at the bottom, obviously. Arkansas with a new coach, Kentucky, and then you got Florida there sitting at number 9, and then of course LSU at number 6. Where's Ole Miss? They're at number 8. So, those new coaches, are outside of the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you got an Oklahoma team who has retained their coaching staff, Texas A&M, Georgia as well, Alabama, and even Texas. That has to be said for something, because what we're talking about now, it's March. Well, it's April actually. In April, in order to get 20 commits in April, you have to start working on those kids a lot earlier. 10th, 11th grade, for kids to decide this early in the process that they want to commit to your school. So that's the first thing that comes into mind, is like, those top schools have coaching staffs that are in place, and they've probably been working on those kids for a very long time. Where you have Golesh, he's just getting here. Well, of course, at USF, I have no doubt that he was working on bringing in some high school talent. But at the same time, that changes when you change from a school like USF to Auburn. So that's the first thing I think about initially. When you put it up, that's the first thing I look for, is like where do we rank amongst like all the new coaching staffs? Because they would be
last.
Yeah, dead last. But they would be
dead last.
they would be the ones that I would compare us to more so than the rest of the conference. So that's my initial thoughts. That's my initial thoughts of seeing that.
Okay, so if we compare against programs that have new coaches, right? So you're talking the Kentuckys, the Arkansas, the Floridas, the Ole Miss has a new coach, but he was there some before that.
We still
Florida's ranked. He's still there last year, so I don't know how you would rank that, but you still look at Florida. Florida was ranked number 9. That's right in the middle of the conference. So when you look at that, when you look at that, Kid Country, what does that tell you about Golesh? Does that tell you that recruits are? Is that more of a Golesh thing? People are trying to understand him, or is that, in your opinion, more of a Auburn has just been bad in recent years thing, and people just want to see exactly where this program is going?
I wouldn't go so much as say. I mean, it could be kind of a combination, but all the other teams with new coach have been bad too. That's why they got new coaches for the most part.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Outside of Ole Miss,
but they all ranked higher than Auburn. And is that a brand thing? In your opinion, do you think that's a brand thing, or do you just think that's just, or is that just like, because Arkansas? Come on, man, Arkansas, Kentucky ranked higher than Auburn. Come on, let's be honest.
I don't expect big class or highly top ranked class in this class 27.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I feel like there's a few guys that they really want to zero in. And I think they'll get a couple of those guys. Not saying we won't get no good guys. But here's the problem that you have. When you come in like they did, and I think his recruiting tactic is a little different from a lot of people. He ain't just throwing money at guys.
True.
You see what I'm saying? He really trying to build relationships.
True.
So that's kind of hard to do. You know what I mean? When you got here December, that's kind of hard to do. You know, that's something that takes time. So the 28 class is where I really look for him to make the biggest impact.
Okay.
And like you say, the same thing we said about Freeze. I think the biggest plus will be for Golesh. I think he's gonna put a good product on the field, and I think he will have proof of concept with recruits. Uh, with the way that this team is structured and the way they're going about their business, I look for Jordan Hare Stadium to be electric this fall. And if they can pull off a couple wins on those official visits, that's when you show this is why you need to be at Auburn. You see,
Mm-hmm.
Hugh could just throw the bag at you, but he could never just, you know what I mean, win the big game to say, well, recruits see, well, dang, Auburn headed in the right direction. I think that's what Golesh's biggest impact will come later on in the season, and probably still a few guys from somebody.
Okay. Okay. All right. And as you see on the screen, that's Auburn's schedule for 2026 for the upcoming season. And you talk about some of those big games that you just spoke about. You talk about Baylor. I think Baylor is a very big game that a lot of people are, I don't want to say overlooking, but I think kind of brushing off a little bit. You know, you talk about Baylor, you talk about the Florida game, you know, the first big time electric game. When you talk about that electricity, that's one of the first big time electric games for Alex Golesh that's going to be inside Jordan Hare Stadium. You know, it's not going to be his first home game there, but it'll be his first big electric home game. Look at Tennessee and then Georgia, you know, on the road. And then, of course, LSU and Ole Miss. And then you kind of end that year off with Alabama. So, I mean, to your point there, you got a point there, man. Ant, our favorite insider, what's your thoughts on it, man? How you feel when you look at that list of where Auburn is ranked? Basically, dead last in the conference. You have Arkansas, Kentucky ahead of Auburn. Florida, who got a new coach, is ahead of Auburn. Basically, they're saying they're middle of the conference, is what they're saying. What's your initial thoughts on that when you see it?
Not worried about it.
Oh, wait, hold up now. Wait a minute. A lot of people said that last offseason they weren't worried about it. And Auburn ended up being in the 80s in recruiting. And a lot of people were worried about it when they saw what was happening and everything was going on. So I'm just saying, you're not worried about it at all. There's no inkling that you had. Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
I'm not worried about it because, I mean, it's two reasons. For one, you still, even though we don't want to admit to it, you still have to have a proof of concept. And Golesh hasn't.
To your point, Florida didn't have no proof of concept.
They don't. But I believe that the same thing can happen to Florida that it did last year. They could lose a lot of recruits when they start losing.
Okay.
As far as Auburn goes, I mean, if you really look at it, we have a young team, so that's another reason I'm really not worried about it, because the team is still young. So in a way, we don't need to get 20 commits or 25. Probably 12 to 15 will do.
12 to 15 will do. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think you are definitely gonna go to smaller class sizes, of course. I mean, I don't disagree with you there, but 12 to 15, you know, you don't think that number need to be bumped up to probably 18, maybe 19? So extra two guys. So extra 2 or 3 guys will make a difference.
I mean, you can, but do you really need? I mean, do we really need all those? I mean, how many singers we have? I don't even think we have 10 singers for real.
Okay.
If we do, it's no more than 15 at the most. I mean, you really don't have to replace that much. And with the transfer portal, I mean, that's a big game too. I mean, you could lose a key player, but you can also gain a key player in the transfer portal instead of having to work with this player for years on end. So you have to have a good balance, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the fact.
At what point do you not want? All right, so Auburn brought in what 39 transfers this offseason, right at
Mhm.
40 guys. That's on par
Right.
with what LSU did. That's on
Mhm.
par. It's literally on par with. I think LSU brought in 40 or 41 guys.
Right.
And LSU is at the top of that list. you know, at what point do you think that you want to start supplementing with the portal instead of trying to rebuild a whole roster with the portal, Tez?
I would say just initially, right off the top of my head, probably about year 3 of his tenure. Because we brought in 39 guys, but we needed 39 guys because we had a ton of guys leave.
Yes.
Um, because of the coaching change. So that was that. I would say probably about maybe year 3 of his tenure where you would see him probably have his roster in place, and then we would just be supplementing in the portal for filling holes, so to speak. Um, I don't know with the way the game is played. I don't think you need 39 guys out of the portal every single year.
Mhm.
Um, so and like, hey, Big Stars just put it in the chat. Yeah, winning will limit the exodus of players through transfer portal. So, uh, you know, like Kid Country said, you get proof of concept on the field. I feel like we could do that for 2 years. Then you get players that want to stay, and you
Mhm.
only need a certain amount of players. Now, I don't know about 15 players. I actually don't. I don't even know. Like, think so. Oklahoma with 20 players. 20 players is a relatively small class.
It is.
Right. So I think like the goal of the high school recruiting class should be around 18 to 20 players. That's a tiny class. Trust me, they're going to sign. If they got 20 already, they're going to sign way more than that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say about year 3 of his tenure, coming off this coaching change where you had a bunch of players leave. I don't expect that to happen every year. But to make up for that, we're gonna have some seniors leaving. Some guys are gonna if this team performs like we all want it to, some guys gonna be looking at that NFL. So we would still have to supplement, so to speak. It matters like where you're young at, where you have inexperience at, things like that. So yeah, I would say about year 3, year 2, year 3, somewhere in between there. I would expect that to kind of flip where the portal gets a little bit smaller and the high school recruiting kicks up in terms of class size.
Zudit said, "Man, it's too early, but something to keep an eye on for sure." This
Yeah.
is what I said because last year when I remember we did a show over on Auburn Addicts TV with DC Wolf,
Mhm.
and the question was asked, and y'all asked me. I remember the question was asked, "Where do you think Auburn will finish in the recruiting class?" I mean, in
Yeah.
recruiting ratings, and I was like, I don't think it's going to be higher than like 30, 35, 30. And everybody, y'all
Right,
start
right.
laughing. I was like, no,
Yeah.
dead serious. Like,
Well,
and I
well, we thought we was gonna win.
that part, that's what everybody thought
So,
too. Too. That's what everybody thought too.
And then you also got to think about it. You just had to add 20 plus new players. You went from 80 to like 105
that
to
is
add to your
Mhm.
roster.
That's
it's
true.
very true.
That's true.
So in actuality, if you still had the 85 limit, you might not have needed 30 plus players, if
You have
that
to
makes
cut people.
sense.
But here's the thing,
Yeah.
though. But here's the thing to that roster, you don't have to field a whole. You don't have to have 105 guys on the roster. That's just the
No,
No,
limit.
no, no,
You
no,
want
no,
to,
no, no. But you
and things of that nature.
but the way the season goes, especially with you having an extra SEC game, I think you would do good having 90, 95 to 100 players on your roster because you never know what might happen.
It's a good point. Good point.
Right.
I believe Crimson said, "Man, I rock with y'all, but y'all know I got it." Not saying that, but shout out to I believe Crimson, man. We appreciate you,
That
man,
is
for rocking with us in the chat. 5 Adams said, "Man, Auburn's projected to sign the number 15 overall class."
okay.
And you know what? I asked the question because he is projected to sign that class. I asked the question because I stated at that time last year. I think a lot of deals are starting to get done now.
Right,
Mhm.
March,
right.
April, May, June
I agree.
are when deals are when the recruiting is getting done. So a lot of the guys that are going on official visits, they have probably already had some form of negotiations with those schools, which is the reason why you see a lot of these are the final schools that I'm speaking with. So those deals are getting done, you know, and things and stuff of that nature.
Wow.
And now, you know, with that happening, I think that with that happening, recruiting is getting pushed up a lot earlier. So now, you know, February, you gotta January, February, if you don't make the playoffs, you know, January, February, you got to start understanding and targeting guys who you really want to have in that class, you know, for the next year, and start negotiating those deals with those guys when they come down. We're gonna talk about that in a minute coming up next. Man, Sweet Suffer said, man, remember his opening presser, what he said, players that fit. That is true. He said some other stuff. He was like, he also said some other stuff like, he's like, could we have top 10 classes? He said we would like to, but we'd rather have guys that kind of fit what we do. So that's very good. D-Lev said, go ahead.
Oh, I was just finna say, I mean, if you look at the list, if you look at the recruiting list, I mean, they have like, they might not have 20 players that committed, but they have a lot of players that's ranked 4 and 5 stars. So I think it's gonna be, I think this class probably be a little quality over quantity type class.
That's a good point. Solid point. D-Lev said most recruits are waiting to see the results on the field. If we win 8 or 9 games this season and be competitive all season, this will change. Golesh winning recruits over. We just gotta win. Yeah, I mean, that's it. You just gotta win. Al Davis said the best. You just win. Yeah. Win. Mike McKinney said we're going to be just fine in recruiting. We always pick up late in recruiting. I hope so, Mike. I hope so, man. Big Sarge said, man, results are coming on visits and scheduling official visits to Auburn. The high school kids will commit to the program later. I mean, don't get it twisted. You know, there are a lot of guys that have official visits playing Auburn, but you know, when you look at the top classes, a lot of those guys have guys that are committed as well. And you know, one of those guys that was committed to the Auburn 27 class, Jalen Scott, he committed from Auburn. And now he's committed to the Oklahoma class. So you know, so it's a game. It's still a game of numbers to kind of gauge where you can be, so you don't have to work as hard on the back end, you know, and stuff like that. Jermaine in the chat, he said, focus on 14 to 16 signees and go get transfers. Okay, I like that. I would probably put that number closer to 18. I'll try to get 18 guys in these classes, and then try to go, you know, backfill with the portal. But I understand exactly where you're coming from. Big Star said winning will limit the exodus of players through the transfer portal. Yes, it will. So we have to do that. But also, guys do want to get tape on the field, and they do want to play. So, you know, where are they ranking the pecking order as well, and how does the eligibility and the projection of another kid on the team affect them as well? So that's interesting to think of too.
I mean, just come to Auburn. We know the coach is gonna play you as a freshman. If you work hard and you practice real good and you show signs of potential, they're gonna put you on the field, man. Dirk can prove that last year, and I think Golesh will prove that this year. It don't matter about class, man. If they can play, put them on the field.
We'll see, man. Mike McKinney said, experience over age is becoming the new normal. Yes, it is. That is very, very true, man. That is very true.
You mind putting that graphic back up real quick? I just want
which one?
The one you just put up about the transfer class.
Yeah. Go ahead. There it is. Did it not show?
See it. Don't see nothing.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I just wanted to look at the commit size. Okay, I mean, that's I don't. I guess it is alarming because of how last year went. But we talking about the top five recruiting classes. If you look at it, you know, outside of the top 5, everybody else is 5 or less in their class.
True.
Arkansas and Kentucky have the same amount of commits, but and the same ranking, which is ironic. That apparently these guys are rated higher than the 2 that we have. So it's still mad early to make an assessment whether this class is gonna round out or not. In my opinion, right now, I think what's throwing this off is that astronomical amount of commits that Oklahoma has. If you take that away, and this list looks pretty normal, but for a school to have 20 kids committed on April 1st, I mean, I guess kudos to them, man. That's a great
Yeah.
job. But then when I look at it, when I look at that, I look at the average rating, and I see Oklahoma with 20 commits, and they're only 2 points above LSU with 5. So it tells you a lot about the quality of kids that they have in that class. So I don't know, man. Just I know it's early, and I know like we have a bad taste in our mouth from last year how it went. But you got that June, you got that summer, you got that June and July coming up, and those should be big recruiting months for everybody. I'm not as worried because all of the recruits that are saying good things when they come to the practices. They're saying good things about Auburn. And I expect some of these guys to start recruiting once the summer starts. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's April 1st. I don't know if it's cause for concern yet, but like it was said in the chat, I'm gonna keep my eye on it for sure.
Definitely. And let's talk about it. Why? What is the reason behind the potential why Oklahoma has 20 guys committed in that class? What is the reason? Why is when let's look at that one more time. When you look at that when you look at that recruiting ranking, you see Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia. Yeah, I wouldn't say that Georgia. When you look at that top 5, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama, Texas. Now, I would not say Georgia is probably one of the most richest programs in the conference, but definitely Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Texas are 3 of the richest ones in the conference. So when we talk about that on the graphic, it says that NIL equals recruiting. So let's look at this NIL rev share thing. Let's look at it. The cap. We talked about this cap for what it was for the 25-26 year. It was at 20.5 million, but it was projected to go up, every year, a percentage. And the cap for the 26-27 year is projected to be at 21.3 million. But, of course, you also have those outside NIL collectives as well that you can get the third party deals. So when you look at the middle column there, where do you go above the cap? You look at where it says the elite programs. And that's a word that's a buzzword because that's a word that that's going around at Auburn a lot. The word elite, wanting to be elite in everything that we do. It says elite programs are spending $40 to $55 million. That's just an estimate,
right,
on rosters. And we did a show a couple of days ago where we talked about roster spending for the 2025 football season. You look at this and you talk about money, and you look at how money correlates to potential guys, not per se winning the national championship, but being in the conversation to have the opportunity to win the national championship. Most of the time, teams that have rosters that they spent money on, majority of those time, those rosters, those teams end up being in the conversation for the college football playoff. Ohio State won the national championship one year. But then when you look at all other programs that are perennially in it, Texas was in there. They had an opportunity to be in it last year. Oklahoma was in it last year. You look at these schools. Alabama was in it last year, even though a lot of people talk about Alabama. Alabama has money to spend, as you can tell on here, $88 million total in football operations, for Alabama. You look at this, man, and you look at that 20 commitments for Oklahoma. How much of that do you think is tied to promised NIL, which I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already. Like, it isn't just Oklahoma, just like it's this great program. But when you look at the money that's being spent here, like I think we talk about it, but I don't think we really talk about it in depth about like how the money that's being spent on rosters can almost equate to teams having the opportunity to play to have the opportunity to compete for college football playoffs position. When you look at that, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that, kid country, man? What you thinking about when you see that?
First of all, Oklahoma, I think they're in the position they're in because they're not recruiting stars. They're not going out to every 5-star. You know, my nephew, not technically my nephew, but he's my nephew, you know. He committed to Oklahoma this past season.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There was the first kid that before I even spoke on Duke Smith, before I even spoke on Riddick, anybody, I would holler Christian Moore. He didn't get the big rating because, you know, he didn't go to a lot of camps or whatever. So that was a guy that Hugh was never going to offer.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for Brent Venables to come to Selma and recruit this kid and sign this kid, a kid that flew all the way out on the radar, and I'm telling you, might have been top 5 player in the state of Alabama. I put him up against anybody because he could bend the edge, coming off the edge like no other.
Mm-hmm.
The way he could contort his body, man, and get to the quarterback. So they does a good job of not just recruiting stars. That's why you were saying the difference between them and LSU. They're not just going to get 5 stars. Venables, he'll take a 3-star that fit my system. You know what I mean? Much like, okay, Venable is doing the same kind of recruiting I feel like Golesh will eventually do at Auburn.
Okay.
They recruit to what they want to do specifically. Scheme fit, personality fit. We just not going to offer every 5-star in the state of Alabama. You know what I mean? We recruiting it might be a 3-star guy or 4-star guy that might fit what we do better than the 5-star kid.
Mm.
And I think that's kind of what Oklahoma's doing, you know. Not necessarily just going out to the 5-star, they going out to 3 and 4-star. Thus, they got a bigger class than everybody. Hell, that's why only reason they rank where they at. But once these other teams go to recruit and getting their recruit like Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, Oklahoma gonna fall back to the middle of the pack real quick.
Mm. Okay.
They number 1 right now in April, but trust me, once these recruit go to here this summer, they gonna fall back in the middle of the pack real quick.
So you don't think so you don't think the money that Oklahoma has anything to do with it?
Well, they spending money.
Mm-hmm.
They spending money, but I don't think they just throwing money around like certain people do. You know.
Okay.
I don't think they just doing. They was a playoff team last year. You know, they got a lot to sell right now. So I don't think they just excessive spending. I don't. You know, the big spending season really hasn't got here yet. If you ask me.
Okay, that's a fair. I think that's a
big
fair
spending season. Big spending season roll around this summer and into the fall when you really get desperate. You know what I mean? That's what I think. That's when I think those lucrative deals come out to guys that may be committed somewhere else or a guy that you just got to have. I don't think that the big money season even an approach yet. That's why a lot of the big name guys ain't even committed. So.
That's a fair statement. I agree. I think that. Your thoughts? How important do you think? We talk about Oklahoma. How important do you think it was for Oklahoma to hire Jim Nagy as their GM?
Massive.
That you kind of see this happening now. You know, this is a guy. If people don't know who Jim Nagy is, Jim Nagy is a guy that has NFL front office experience, and most recently, before he took the general manager job at Oklahoma, he ran the Senior Bowl for about 6-7 years. So he knows, and his job as the executive director for the Senior Bowl was to go out and find all of the talent around the country that can come and play in what they call and what's considered to be the premier bowl game in the country. And you see that with the collaboration that the NFL has with the Senior Bowl, because those kids for a whole week get coached up by NFL coaches and NFL coaching staff. How big does Jim Nagy fit into this situation?
Massive, massive. And massive is an understatement because I think Oklahoma, in hiring him, is ahead of the curve, so to speak. Uh, when it comes to getting a general manager with NFL experience and um the things that Jim Nagy has done, you're going to start seeing a lot of guys like him at schools. Right. You're going to see these big name executives start taking these GM roles. And I think Oklahoma is ahead of the curve by going ahead and getting that done.
Yep.
Listen, we went to the Senior Bowl, right? And this is no knock to anybody at the Senior Bowl if y'all watch. We went to the Senior Bowl both years, right?
Yep.
Last year, and then we went this year. I don't know how you feel about it, but I would say that it was significantly much more organized and better when Jim Nagy, like, it was a better experience for me, even though it was my first time and I didn't really know how to navigate it. How everything was set up was a little bit better experience for me last year than this year. This year
Mm.
felt just a tad bit rushed and thrown together. So, like, you could immediately tell his impact, in my opinion, from just leaving the Senior Bowl. So this is a guy who knows, in my opinion, what he's doing. So yeah, I think that is a massive, massive get for them, and especially when it comes to identifying talent. Like you said, that's been his job for quite some time now, is going out, finding kids to play in this football game. So he's experienced in that. And as the executive director of such a big thing like the Senior Bowl, he probably understands the financial aspects of it and how to budget and allocate funds and things like that. So, man, I think them hiring Jim Nagy as a GM is probably a very sneaky best executive hire in college football. Um, that won't get talked about a lot unless you're watching Water Cooler. But you're not gonna hear people talk about them a lot and talk about that hire and the impact that it made for Oklahoma. I think you may watch it on some Oklahoma channels. I think Jason actually touched on it a bit at Hall of Fame, but yeah, it's one thing that needs to be talked about because that's the road that this is going down. The more money you introduce to college sports, the more high level executives you're going to need to manage these programs and to get them to where they need to be. And I think they recognized that early. They had an opportunity to hire this guy. And man, I think that's massive. Now, is it a direct effect on what they have with the 20 recruits? I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I don't know how many of those guys were like, had pretty much committed before he actually signed. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Uh, but yeah, bro, them hiring Jim Nagy is a big deal, right? Because I'm telling you, it next year, after this season is over with, I can guarantee you're gonna start seeing a lot more NFL executives uh getting into the GM roles. You may even get some guys in those GM roles that have just managed large companies and
Yeah.
corporations that had
Yeah.
nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
Uh, because that's what it's turning into. You have specific guys for specific tasks. Um, do you need a football guy as your GM? You know, if you can hire
Mhm.
somebody who's managed a very large corporation and has dealt with, the very, very large amount of money, and that's his only task, and then you may not need a football guy as a GM. Now, of course, when you lose, that's what everybody's going, "Oh, you hired a dude from Microsoft as a GM. What you expect?" But the game is changing, man. It's becoming a business, and you need business professionals in roles like that. And I think they did it. They got ahead of that curve and went out and hired Jim Nagy, man, which is I think is amazing, man. I think, it's gonna pay dividends for them
I think
down
what
the
people
road.
fail to I think what people fail to realize is this has always been a business. This
Yeah,
this whole thing has always been a business, and that you've always needed people with some type of business acumen to run now more than ever. Like what you just said, you need more people that have that business acumen to run these front offices, like NFL front offices, because of the fact now that the money that used to just go to the institutions is now
right.
being shared with players, and you have third party NIL collectives. You have guys that are coming out making money off their name, image, and likeness. Now you have to have somebody that understands, EBITDA, things and stuff
Mm.
like that. Like, what does that mean? For for an athletic department, now that you have a big chunk of that revenue going to football players. You have to have
Right.
understand guys that understand that type of stuff and understand that to do that. So to your point of seeing teams that are going to hire more, of these Harvard, Yale, Princeton type guys that
Right.
understand derivatives and and things and stuff like that, and how to project out 5 years down the road, based and stuff like that. It is what it is. Just want to look at Oklahoma's card, man. Oklahoma has a pretty good card right here. Number one in the SEC, number one in the country, man. 20 commits. 3 5 stars committed, 11 4 stars, and I think it was 6 3 stars that they had committed as well. And this is in 2 seasons. This is this is the Jim Nagy era right here.
Right.
Last year was Jim Nagy's first year there. I think he left right after the Senior Bowl in 2024. No, 2025.
Right.
He left right after the Senior Bowl 2025. And so he got there to kind of get that first class going for this 26 class. And now you see where they are right now, number one in both areas, when it comes to, where it is. I somewhat agree with Edward, because I do think I don't know if they stay at number one, to be completely honest with you. I don't know if they do.
You got to think about it like this. Georgia, for that list that you put up, has 11 commits.
Yes.
And they're actually have an average rating higher than them already.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So all Georgia essentially has to do is sign another player, and they'll be above them in recruiting.
Yes.
And I love that as Georgia, because it kind of kills the argument of just like going after 5 stars. I think everybody in here would agree that Georgia identifies and recruits talent very well, despite their star rating. So yeah, it's a lot. To Edward's point, it probably is a lot of fit in there. These are guys specifically that they feel that they need. If you can get 20 commits, that tells me that the front office and your coach is in lockstep. Like they are one. They are identifying needs and going out and getting kids. So, yeah, man. Kudos to them.
Like Five Adams said, he said Notre Dame's GM is a former Detroit Lions assistant GM. You know what I'm saying? It's slowly coming into that, man. Mike McKinney said, man, just a short form. What the hell are these schools spending $80 million? Where is this money going? Man, you would be surprised. Now, let's just be honest. Like, that's just not football spending. That is like total. That could be total athletic department spending, because some of that spending could be, they had to buy a new sled, for them to do.
AstroTurf is expensive.
Yeah, or stuff like that. Or they had to replace something. So, when you see that number, it's not just some are probably spending $50 million on a roster. They probably are, but but you got to also bake into that thing. Like, you got some guy. I think he was talking about Alabama. $88 million in total spending and things, stuff like that. I think it's just all stuff that they got going on and things, stuff like that. Let's bring this back to Auburn before we get up out of here. And you look at this, man, and we talk about the pitch that Golesh has to have for recruits moving into this newfound age of Auburn football and what he needs to do. We all know what he needs to show. We all know that all he has to do is go out here and show what we've been saying for the past 3 years: proof of concept on the field.
True.
But that proof of concept has to come with wins. So basically, all he has to do is come in and win. And if he does that, Auburn has the opportunity to come out and have that transformation that Oklahoma had. Within a 2-year period, Auburn has opportunity. Do you agree with Golesh's pitch of just saying, "Hey, come be a part of this and help us get back to it," or do you think he needs to go out here and show something with what he has on the field first, before that?
I think he got to show us on the field, but the starting pitch is very good, because not only are you saying come be a part of this change, but I'm showing you that the culture is changing slowly but surely, moment by moment, practice by practice. Um, I think with you getting in these 10 recruits one day, 20 recruits another day, 7 this day, I think that's gonna help you out in the long run because it's actually showing change.
Mhm.
And you get a couple, let's just say Auburn has a 7-5 season, but you've shown change in culture, and that this isn't the same Auburn that you might have visited a year ago or 2 years ago. We're actually moving to we're actually moving for better. And a lot of kids, I mean, you'll get someone to buy into that.
But I was just
Mhm.
about to ask you that question. Like, if you go 7-5, if Auburn goes 7-5, and we did this, I think when we did this, when we looked at the floor, I think the floor was the middle part was 7-5. So if you saying, and we had that graphic, I don't have it loaded up real quick. But if you saying Auburn goes 7-5, what does Auburn have to show in those games? I mean, Auburn was in one score games last year and went 5-7. Like, that still kind of tells you, did Auburn finish the games that they were supposed to win, or is that just saying Auburn made it to a bowl game and had the opportunity to win a bowl game?
I say you have to show. I mean, you don't have to show nothing on defense. Of course, your defense speaks for itself.
Mhm.
On offense, you have to show that you have a competent offense,
Okay.
at least enough to help out your defense. Now, you might still lose one score games, but just say the game is 37-34, 45-40, something like that. I mean, you did enough to help your defense out, if that makes sense. You just wasn't, you just had some bad breaks. You everybody know how the game of football goes. A penalty here, a fumble there, maybe an untimely interception. That changes a lot. And that's some of those things you can't help. And I just feel like if you show that you have a at least a top 5 SEC offense, you'll probably get some recruits here.
Okay. Yeah, well, you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. You agree with that, Tess?
A little bit. A little bit. I mean, the reason why I say that is because 2 years ago, Oklahoma went 6-7, right? And you just put up
Mm-hmm.
the numbers of how well they've been recruiting, even
Mm-hmm.
with that. So I think that, like, you gotta la last year's ask yourself this: would you want to send your kids to play for that team last year that found ways to lose games? It's one thing when you're watching a team that is getting beat by teams that are better than them. You
Yeah.
know, the concept is in place. That it looks like they're moving in the right direction, but they just don't have enough talent yet, right? That's one thing you can really pitch to recruits that, hey, you're the piece that we need, right? We have everything in place. We just need you. We just need a
Yeah.
couple of you guys to come in here to build this thing up. It's a whole different story when you have a better roster than 7 of the teams that you lost to. Well,
Mm-hmm.
6 of them probably, but
I mean, that
it's a whole different
was
story when you're finding ways to lose these games. It's tough to pitch to kids, that, um and also, we gotta talk about roster retention because that is also a piece in there. It's like, how much is it gonna cost to keep the guys that you have? I would argue, like, when you see these astronomical numbers from these elite programs that are spending the 40, $50 million, they have better players already on their rosters that they have to maintain. Um, so some of that is going towards them. They're not spending 40, $50 million on high school recruiting. Some of
true.
that is players that are already on the roster that we have to keep in the building. Um, so I don't know if I don't know if a 7-8 win season automatically equals we're not gonna have a good recruiting class because we've seen it done, like you said, Oklahoma. They 6 and 7. Uh and they put together a good recruiting class. So I don't know if those two things necessarily equate. I think it's just the proof of concept in the direction that the program is going. For all its intents and purposes, under Hugh Freeze, Auburn looked like it was going to be worse. Like it was on a downward trajectory. Well, it didn't look like that. It literally was. We went 6 games one year, 5 games the next. We were headed, if you follow that, then we probably on path for 4 games this year. Um,
But
but then
this
you
one,
add to that a coaching change in the middle of that as well. Yeah, I for Golesh though, I mean, I think if he can make some dynamic plays. No, he's not gonna make a single play. But if he can put together a dynamic offense, he can put together something that looks like it's moving forward rather than regressing, then that would speak volumes to like these recruits, man. When we're talking about building this thing for this year and years to come, it
Yep.
just has to look like the program is headed in the right direction. And I don't think it looked like that under Freeze.
Okay. All right.
but that's why I said the 7-5 test, because on Nick illustration, if you pulled up the 5 losses, I mean, most of them was the road games and probably
True,
LSU. I
true.
mean, in actuality, if you play all 5 of them games close and you just have a mistimed interception or something, wouldn't that be showing progress? Because last year we was losing to
Yeah,
Arkansas.
yeah. But to your point, that's kind of if you go back to 2024 and the Hugh Freeze, it that's kind of how it looked. Right? It looked like, hey,
Hmm.
we had a mistimely pick here. Uh, we're gonna get a new quarterback, so that should fix everything because everybody thought that dude was just trash. So, that's something that you can hang your hat on. But then when you stack 2 of those years together and people see like, nah, this is not, it's not, it wasn't the quarterback, it's the dude calling the plays.
Bro, you
Mhm.
lost to Arkansas. You lost to
But
Kentucky at home.
Well, you didn't lose to
right.
Arkansas last year. You actually ended up beating Arkansas on the road, but it was a close game. I think it was only one touchdown score in that game, and it was thrown by the guy that got benched at halftime. That's what I'm saying about that. But this is what you was talking about. You're talking about the total win projections for the season. 5-7, 7-5, and 9-3, and then it gives you the teams that you most likely lose to in those errors based on the computer projections of if you were to go there. So if you're saying 7-5. Basically saying you play Tennessee, you lose to Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, Mississippi State, but then you get a big win against LSU at home, and then you get a big win against Florida at home. So basically, you get some of those games. That's what you was talking about, man. Fellas, let's take a look at some of these comments in the comments section real quick before we get
For
up out
sure.
of here, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. 5 Adam said, man, Golesh need to beat Florida, Tennessee, 3 cupcakes plus Baylor. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So if he does that, you saying that's a 6-6. That's a 6-6 record. Is what you're saying. I think
Mm,
we'll give official predictions in May, June. We'll officially put them on a record of where we think Auburn will be at and some other teams because we still have to go through. Because as soon as spring is over with, we're gonna go through every single team in the SEC and we're gonna look at them in depth of every single team and look at what they have coming back, what they do well, coordinators and everything like we did last year. We did it for Auburn's schedule, so we can do the same thing again this year. That's what we're gonna do, man. My guy, Sweet Stuffer 256 in the chat. He said, "Man, look, we got to show that leadership been the issue, and that the name on the shirt has nothing to do with recent history." I agree with
I
that.
agree with that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Big Star said, in my opinion, the floor should be a record of 7-5 for Auburn this season. I like it. I like it, man. Shout out to
Right.
Tim, the tour man Taylor in the chat. What's up, Tim? What's going on? He said, Big Sarge, man, I see you terrorizing Zach and C5 on a regular basis. What's going on over there? What's happening over there? I gotta let me know something. Let me know what's
Man,
going on.
that comment section be so lit, man. That's
I gotta
all
see
I'm
what's
gonna
going
say.
on. I gotta see what's going on, man. 5 Adams said Auburn don't have the quarterback that can lead Auburn to the playoffs. They need the QB Israel Abrams. If you
I'm not gonna
listen,
agree with that.
if you listen, it seems as if I think Abrams still has an OV to Auburn in June, but it seems as if
Man,
I don't know,
I'm
man. It
telling
seems
you,
as if the
watch,
kid from Arizona may be the number one
yes,
choice now. That's what it seems like. Yeah.
watch for him. I'm telling you, everybody. Okay, so a little insider information for y'all that don't know: the best ball thrown at practice, as far as deep balls go and pretty, is by Rush. Everybody doesn't know about the freshman that came with Golesh, but I'm telling y'all, the kid from Arizona is almost similar to him. That he can run a lot better than him.
Okay. Okay. All right then. You heard it. You heard it here from the inside of himself, and you heard it. I'm telling you, his information ain't never wrong. It may not be right now, but it's always right. In the words, it's in the words. I'm just messing with you, Ed. I'm just messing with you. Let's see. Let's get back in. 5 Adams said last 5 years, Auburn never won 7 games, is what it is, man. Slow say, have y'all hit the like button yet? Yeah, hit the like button.
Great question.
If you're in the chat, hit the like button. Go ahead, man. Big Star says, I'm checking them all out, Tim the Tool Man Taylor, but I'm keeping a close eye on Hayden White. Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. Hey, let's get it off the screen. Let's get it off the screen.
I know why though. That's the crazy
screen,
part.
Bro.
Y'all just don't know. Okay, so let me tell y'all. Y'all
go
know
ahead. Go ahead.
right?
I'm trying to hear what you're
y'all
talking
know I
about.
be listening to them, right? You know I be listening to these folks. Like I told Tez earlier, y'all know I keep receipts, bro. Everybody that's saying they like gold is big sergeants on the same time I'm on. Y'all was just hollering by Summerall in January. Now you're talking, oh, I love Golesh. The way he interviewed, man, we don't want to hear that, bro. We don't want to hear that, no. We don't want to hear that. Y'all was just high on Summerall. Y'all know what I really want to say. You was just on Summeralls, but now you on Golesh's. Come on now, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It is, man. Hey, Ant, that's Ant right there, man.
Don't
That's
do that.
Ant, bro.
That's my
Ant.
coach, man. That's my coach. Don't do that.
That's Ant. David Kelly said, man, yes, I'm not gonna lie. Abrams makes anticipatory throws and can move. You need a player like that and develop him more. Yeah, I agree with that. But it's gonna be hard to get Abrams in the door because it seems like Miami is making a strong push for him, man. Kenry said, man, the word coming out of Auburn camp is true. We would end up with an 8-4 with a bowl game win this year, 9-4 overall. Man, let's make that happen, bro. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's been a great conversation, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. That's the name of the show, Around the Water Cooler on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. And what you guys say to people before we get up out of here, my guy?
Hey, man, hopefully y'all in better weather than I am. I am cold. It is raining. Y'all stay warm and be blessed.
There it is. Kid Country, aka Chef Country, aka the Charleston White of YouTube, aka Edward. What's going on, man? What you guys say to people before we get up out of here, man?
Hey man, I can't get on this show without just Ted sent it to me today, which I had seen it Monday. But did you see my boy out there making plays, man?
Yes, we saw.
Hey, that was a nice. Hey, that was a nice catch.
I had to make sure I sent it to you.
Nice. That was a
You
nice.
hear Charlie Fine talking about how
he put some weight
running
on
over
too,
people out there, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a kid can play linebacker, man.
He put some weight on.
Hey, it's all I need him to do is just keep learning the system. They said Golesh coaching the hell out of him, boy. Golesh on him every time. So that let me know one thing that Golesh can see it in it. So that's saying something now. But hey, this Friday, it's a good Friday.
It is.
Good Friday.
Sir.
It is.
A lot of people off work. A lot of people ain't got nothing to do. And for those that ain't got nothing to do, I'm about to give you some. Take your quick day trip. You and your boo. Gas is over vehicle up. I know gas high right now, but it's worth the time. Gas the vehicle up. Drive down to 2371 Highway 14, Otagoville, Alabama. It's Good Friday, and we're gonna make it a great Friday. We had those ribs right there. We'll have ribeye steaks. Man, we'll have some barbecue chicken, potato salad, man, baked beans, macaroni and cheese, hey, burgers, fried catfish, you name it.
Mm.
If you can think of it, it'll be there. So just gas your vehicle up. Come on down to Adeline by Chef Country. Well, man, we just do it right. We do it right. No shortcuts. Everything never frozen. Everything fresh. You know, come on, supporter. Ask to speak to the chef. 9 times out of 10, I'll be running the cash register. I multitask. I'm a lead at what I do. I run the register. I drop the fry. I cook the burger. I cook the rib. I do it all. You know, I'm elite. So for those who want some elite food Friday, come see me. 2371 Highway 14 West, Otagoville, Alabama. 36003. And as always, kid out. Our boy be good.
Yes, sir. Shout
Yes,
out to
sir.
our guy, Kid Country, Chef Country. Make sure y'all head down to 2371 Highway 14, Otagoville, Alabama. But we do it right, man. Adelines by Chef Country, man. Tez, what you got to say to people before we get up out of here, man?
Oh man, always a pleasure. Great conversation. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Again, man, prayers to those that are on that Artemis 2 mission. And stop
Yes.
calling this fake, man. Can we stop that?
Can we please?
Can we? Like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of that. But yeah, man, you can find me at It's SEC Season on all platforms, man. And you can tune in tomorrow, man, 10:30 Central Standard Time. You're not doing nothing for lunch. Even if you are doing something for lunch, hey, tune in, spend lunchtime with us, man. We're gonna have a great conversation about old coaches, whether they can adjust to this new era of NIL football. And after lunch, tune in Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. For actually, we're the Fans versus Day series is on a bye week. So we're gonna have some fun, man. We're gonna have some fun on Tuesday. So you want to be there for that show. You know how we have fun, some fun and games that we'll put up. It'll be interactive, and we may be giving away SEC season t-shirts. So you want to be there for that.
I like it. I like
Brittany,
it.
can I
I
say
like
one
it.
more
SEC
thing?
season t-shirts. Go ahead.
Can I say one more? Hey, Big Sarge, I need you to put a Y or an N in the comments if I was right. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
This
saying.
man. This is
What,
wild.
man? Bro, I just want y'all to know how. I just want y'all to know how they really be, man.
This is wild. This is wild.
That's all I'm saying.
This is wild,
I just want to know that's how it really is, bro.
man. I'm gonna leave it alone. That's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna leave it alone. That's what
I
I'm gonna
wasn't
do,
talking
man.
about the.
Sweet Stuffer says some Raw chose Florida over us. F them. Hey, it is what it is. Michael McKinney said best commercial ever. Yes, it is. Adelines by Chef Country, man.
Absolutely.
We like that. Gregory McCarty said one thing before I go. I love the energy from all the coaches. They are bringing it. I still need my ribs. Delicious. Yeah, we go. I'm telling you, go to
I'm getting
2371 Highway 14 in Talkville, Alabama. We will definitely be there October 17, 2026 for the Auburn, Georgia game. We will be going live from Adeline. So come out.
With a
chill with us,
ribbon
rock with
line.
us. I'm telling you, we're gonna have a great time, man. Big Sorry said, Tez, what is your channel? Oh, it is at SEC Season. I'm gonna show it to you in a minute. I'm gonna show it to you, man. And of course, King Richard said, great show, fam. Shout out to you, King Richard. We appreciate you so much, man, for rocking with us, man. So you can see Tez's channel, Big Sarge. It is the first one at the top. It is at It's SE Season. That is Tez's channel at It's SE Season. That is where it is. You go to YouTube and you type it in right there at It's SE Season. With I got Tez. Then you go over to Titan Sports Alabama Football Megacast. You subscribe there. You go over to Auburn Addicts TV. When I got DC Wolf, you go and subscribe there. You go over there when I got Dustin over at the Uptempo Podcast, and guess what? You subscribe there. And then, of course, after that, go over to Sharpshooter Sports Talk. When I got B Sharp, and guess what? You subscribe subscribe there. And then, of course, at the Golden Broom Podcast on YouTube and the Anchor Down Live Podcast on Facebook, guess what? You go subscribe there. And then at the Huggy Beard himself on YouTube and on Twitter, you go follow him and subscribe there. Kid Country on YouTube. You got his YouTube channel. You go subscribe over there. And then, of course, the legend himself, Bubba and the Old Man Auburn Sports Talk. I got Bubba. You go over there and subscribe there as well. Also, JMHO Sports Talk, but I got Coach Sean on the Block Sports with Coach Carr, and I got Dylan over at the College Loop. Go over and subscribe there as well. Also, mess with the people that mess with Water Cooler Talk Sports. Shout out to I got DJ. That's my quarterback. Follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood and EY. And of course, follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's, man. Shout out to the people that work with that mess with Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. We appreciate them so much, man. And you already heard it, the best commercial ever. Analyzed by Chef Country, 2371 Highway 14, Otagoville, Alabama, where we do it right, man. Make sure that you go and check out our guy, Kid Country. He told y'all Good Friday this Friday. Gas up the car. Go check him out, man. Go check him out. Also, man, follow us on our social medias at Coolest Pod 23 on Twitter, at the Water Cooler Talk on Instagram and TikTok, and the Water Cooler Talk Podcast on Facebook. And then visit www.watercoolertalksports.com. Again, it's www.watercoolertalksports.com. And if you haven't seen the website, guess what? I'm going to show it to you. I'm about to show you the website. There it is. That's the website right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. You go over there, you can check out the story on Elijah Melendez. You know, we have a quote from Elijah Melendez in that story if you want to go check it out. Then guess what? As soon as this episode is over with, it's going to be right over here in this area where it says latest episode. This episode is going to be up there in about 10-15 minutes. And then guess what? You got the ad from our guy DJ at Hollywood Media. You get the latest news. If you click on this over here, it'll take you to the video where we came up with the final 2025 SEC season rankings. You can go watch that video on YouTube. If you click over here, and then guess what? You go down here to the feature story that was written by none other than Tez himself, speaking on what it means to get Chris Murray back. You get to read that story, and then after that, guess what? You get down here, you can see some of our latest videos on YouTube from Auburn Addicts, from SEC Heat Check, from Around the Water Cooler, from SEC Season. You get all the interviews, man. You go check all of it out. And then you can go up here to the top and you can just go to any one of these and read the stories from those as well, man. I'm telling you, man, we do it all. We elite. In the words of Edward, we are elite around here, man. And that's what we do. We elite at everything. That's what we trying to be. That's what we trying to be.
Absolutely. Don't forget my dogs will be on tomorrow. Tez with his lunch break and Marcus with the heat check.
Well, that's what it is. We hope Marcus is on with heat check tomorrow. Is the plans. Yeah. Marcus them had an accident around their house that knocked all the power out. That's what we're
now. Oh wow.
So we praying for Marcus. Hope Marcus is good and hope everything is good there, man. In the words of King Richie, he said, hit the like button on your way out. Yes, please do that. Big Sar said he is subscribing over there right now, man. That's what
appreciate
I'm
you, man.
About.
You won't regret it. I promise you.
That's what it is, man. Sweet Up said, we'll be at the spring game. We plan on being there too as well. That's what it is. We plan on being there as well, man. That is the plan. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we about to get up out of here, man. We appreciate y'all so much for always rocking with us here around the Water Cooler on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network. We are growing and we're going to get better because guess what? Water Cooler Talk Sports Network is going to expand and it is growing. Man, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We'll be back around the Water Cooler here. Make sure that you check out Lunch Breaks tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Check out Lunch Breaks over at SEC Season. And then hopefully we'll have SEC Heat Check with Marcus Fitzpatrick tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, you all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. Y'all be blessed, man. Make sure you give the man upstairs above his because he deserves all the praise and all of the glory. Yes, he does. And until next time, when we gather back here around the Water Cooler on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, Martin said it when he wrote it on the wall when he walked out of the department for the last time. He wrote those two words. He said, one love. And guess what? We are out this mug. Y'all be easy. Y'all be blessed. Stay safe.
This has been a presentation of Water Cooler Talk Sports.